Hello and welcome back. If you don't know who I am, my name is Edith and I like to read books and yap about them to you guys. And today's video is going to be very last minute. I have not known what I wanted to film. I've started very different videos and now I finally landed on one, and this video is going to have to be posted in a week. So it's all fine, we're just going to do this for a week. The idea is that I have this spring reading challenge. It's a part of Madison Kate's Patreon book club, so I'll link her profile like down below so you guys can go find the link to her Patreon if you want to join. But basically every season she does this challenge with like a bunch of prompts. I made a little spread for it in my reading journal, and as you can see, I have read a bunch of them, the ones that are filled out, but there's also, I think I counted to 10 that I have not gotten to yet. And so I thought we have to do a video where I get to this because it ends June 20th and today is May 23rd or something, which means we have less than a month to read 10 books, but I think I can do it personally. So what I did was I wrote down the prompts on a piece of paper and I cut them up into little pieces like this, folded them up and put it inside of this baby right here. And I have already picked which books goes with each prompt because I wanted to make sure that it would be a book I wanted to read for all of them. So that's been my problem with trying to do stuff like this before, has been that I keep pulling books I don't want to read. And with this one, I made sure to only pick books that I right now, on top of my head, would be excited to read. And so, that's the plan. And now I'm just quickly going to patch you guys through to me yesterday. I have a little clip of me picking up our first prompt and the book we're going to be reading. So, go watch that. Are you back? Great. So, as you saw, the book we are starting with is Summer in the City. This is for, I just wrote pink on the cover, but the entire prompt is yellow, pink, blue, or green on the cover. And because I, of course, like I said, knew which book it was going to be, I just went with pink because I knew this was going to be the book for the prompt, and this very much has pink on the cover. And so I decided to tab it because, I don't know, I feel like it's going to be quick and easy, and I know Madison just herself read this and actually really loved it. I've heard some mixed things, but I'm actually really excited for it anyway. So I did start it last night. Again, I have some clips of that we're going to start the vlog off with. So without further ado, let's just get into the first book of this video. I finished it last night right before I went to bed, and I feel like the annotation speaks for itself. First of all, it was going to be just red the entire way through to match like the heart and stuff, but then I ran out of the red ones, so it ended up becoming like this sort of purple and then this beige-ish color. About this, I was ready to give this 5 stars. I really was. It was so great. And then the last 10 pages happened, and I was honestly, if I hadn't taken a moment to like breathe and really think about it, I could have totally gone way down on this rating just based on how I felt when it finished. I didn't do that because the more I thought about it, the more I had to remind myself that I did in fact love it and was like, wait, this is giving 5 stars up until that point, and I can't give it like 3 just because the last 10 pages weren't amazing. So I landed on a 4.5. This was so cute and fast paced, and I totally get what people say. This is a rom-com. Like this is gonna be a movie, but like reading it, I also kept thinking this could totally be a movie and like an actual good rom-com from the early 2000s type of stuff. I definitely felt like it gave that kind of movie vibes, which was what I really loved about it. I really loved our main male character and female main character because I know a lot of people didn't like her, and I saw people calling her a pygmy and everything. I loved her. Also, when I say I didn't like the ending, there's a part of the ending other people didn't like that I didn't mind at all, which is he kind of does this really big gesture and she gets mad, and everybody's like, why would you get mad? Did we read the same book? Because I totally understand why she would get mad. I wouldn't personally get mad, but I've also not been through the stuff she's been through. So, also the same people saying that she's annoying are the same people who love Better Than the Movies, and I hate the female main character in that. So, argue with a wall. I liked her. The thing with the last 10 pages was it didn't wrap it up the way I wanted it to. It was like he did this grand gesture and then she got mad and it didn't work out. And then all in the last 10 pages they met up again, and it wasn't like oh, now she's going to do a big grand gesture and they're going to end up together that way. No, they just kind of met up and then started painting a house and like stuff like that, and then like in the last page she was like, okay, let's date anyway. And I was like, what? I got so annoyed. I was like, what do you mean you guys are talking about paint colors in the last 10 pages when I want something epic? And the book was so good at leading up to this epic thing. I get annoyed just thinking about it because I was so mad. Which also accounts to the fact that I was really loving the book up until that point, is how mad I got at the ending. So, all in all, a really, really amazing read. I just really wish the ending was a little bit less underwhelming, more overwhelming, maybe, and like actually had like a movie ending, because this felt like it didn't even feel like a realistic ending. So I wouldn't say it's because she tried to do a more realistic thing. I don't know how to explain it. It was just annoying, and it didn't fit into the rest of the vibe of the book. I feel like it was very underwhelming and made me extremely angry. So it's a 4.5 though, so it's still a really great read, and I will totally read it. Just be prepared that the ending is not, it's not great. But that also means it's time to pick our next book. I'm going to a birthday party today, so I think it would be a great idea to pick it now before I leave. So let's shake him up. And then pick one. main character has a pet. That's what that says, in case you can't tell. I can never figure out if you can tell or not. And for this prompt, I actually know exactly which one I picked, and I'm very excited for this. I have had such a hard time finding a book that fits to this for some reason. And, like, when we first got the challenge, I made a little TBR. I have not followed that TBR because I changed completely. Like, I went from wanting to read a bunch of romances to wanting to read a bunch of horror books. And then those just kind of fit into the prompts. So then I was like, I might as well use these. This, however, is not a horror book. It is, however, going to be a reread. It's like my third time rereading this book. Archer's Voice. I don't even remember how I got to this. I was going to make a TikTok about me not being able to choose my next book, so I just took out all the books. I was like, oh, I could read this. And for some reason, I was like, oh, I could read this. I could reread the shit out of this. And then I was like reading the back, and I was looking at the prompts, and I was like, wait, am I completely wrong in thinking that one of the main characters has a dog? And I'm not. I read like one chapter in where it mentions that Bree, our main female character, has a dog. So this is in fact going to be the next book. I am also going to annotate this. I just realized I didn't use the microphone for all of that. Yep. I'm not looking forward to editing this clip because like I said, didn't use my microphone for half of it, and that is so annoying, but that's going to be our next book for this challenge, and I'm so excited. Alright, I think we have to do a little update, even though I'm like, I don't know what I have to say because, as you know, it's a reread. I'm almost halfway. I'm right there. So, it's very close. I've made it to a scene, and that's why I'm doing this, is to procrastinate having to read the scene. If you've read the book, you know what it is. If you haven't read the book, solely because of this scene, I would say read your trigger warnings. Well, there's more, but this is like the height of that. And I've made like 2 annotations being like, trust your goddamn gut. He's the main character. It's something to do with him. And he like multiple times mentions how he's like, he's not sure about what's gonna happen. He doesn't trust the person he's hanging around, stuff like that. And it's just like, just trust that feeling. I get why he doesn't, but you wanna like yell it. But other than that, like I said, it's very hard to like come up with something to say because I've literally read it before, so I have no new feelings. Like, so far I'm really loving it still. Like, I'm not reading it and thinking, what did I think loving this the first 2 times I read it. Definitely still love it. But yeah, and I've been really liking the annotations with just underlining a bunch of stuff and then putting in tabs when it is something really important to me. I'm gonna stop yapping, keep reading, and honestly, I think I'm just gonna like keep filming some B-roll and then like come back to you guys once I'm done with the book. Hey Google, what time is it? It's 3:36 p.m. in case you can hear that. And I'm done with my reread and fully annotated, and this is officially my most prized possession. It really is. This is, and I have said that before, but rereading it just kind of reinstated this is my favorite romance book of all times. I've mentioned it many times in this video. This was my third time rereading this. And yeah, like I said, I feel like it's so hard to give thoughts on rereads because they're not new thoughts. I loved everything about this book, just as I've done every single time I've read it. I love the plot. I love Archer. I love Bree. I love many of the side characters, except for the ones you're literally not supposed to like. And I feel so much for both of these characters and the things they go through, but especially Archer. I love one of the things that always annoys me in books, and I feel like this is a very common thing, is the entire miscommunication, everything like that. I can't hear if that siren is coming closer or just staying in the same fucking place. What I was saying is, communication is one of the things these two characters does so well. There are conflicts, but one of the things I've always loved about this book is how fast they talk about the conflicts or how well they communicate what's going on and why everything is happening the way it's happening. All in all, I just love this book and I will forever love this book. And I will definitely be rereading it again in the future. Alright, I'm back to finish this video off because I just figured out there's no reason to start a new book and risking me not finishing it and being able to like say anything about it. And this is totally my fault. I wanted to have another book in here, but it's my fault because I've been having such a hard time figuring out what I wanted to film. Like I've been trying for like over a week now to figure out something, and I kept starting videos and I didn't like them. But this is definitely gonna become a video and get posted. I'm already behind. Like I had to skip 1 week, so I skipped a week, and then I'm gonna post my hobbies video, which if you're interested in any of my other hobbies except for reading, I'll make sure to link that video somewhere, and then this should be posted. For some reason, I thought I posted a video that Saturday, and I was like, oh, I have plenty of videos because I had the other video. But I forgot that it was a literal Saturday, and I should have posted that day. All that to say, I don't really think it's gonna hurt anything. I don't have a big enough audience for people to be like out there angry that I haven't posted anything. That's not the point. The point is we're gonna finish this off with 2 books. But in all fairness, this was 2 really great books. I started off by reading Summer in the City because it had a pink cover, and I annotated both of these really heavily, and I never do that, so pretty good. To sum it up, this was amazing, so close to being a 5 out of 5 star if it wasn't for the last 10 pages. And then we had a reread, Archer's Voice, which was read because the main character has a pet. They actually both have pets, but I read it because I knew she had a pet. And this is still on the 3rd reread, a 5 out of 5 stars. 5 out of 5 stars. My favorite romance book of all time. Go pick it up. But without saying anything else, thank you so much for watching today's video. If you've read any of these 2 books, let me know in the comment down below. If you enjoyed the video, give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe and tap the little bell notifications so you get notified every single time I post, which I do try to do every single Saturday. But I've been falling off on every aspect of my life, and unfortunately it can be seen already on my YouTube. I will be picking it back up straight after this video, so expect new videos every single Saturday. Stick around for them. But that was all for today's video, and I'll see you all next Saturday.